So ATS stands for Application Tracking System. It is a software used by recruiters to filter resumes before they are even read by humans. So majorly in this ATS system, there are some key points, or else today I am going to give some tips so that you can get shortlisted in your An ATS or application tracking system is a type of software that employers use to manage the hiring process. It scans resumes and filters out those that don't meet the job criteria. This includes checking for keywords, structure, formatting, and job specific phrases. So if your resume isn't ATS friendly, it might be rejected even if you are the perfect fit. That's why learning to write an ATS optimized resume is absolutely essential in today's job market. What is an ATS and why it matters? Let us see that. An ATS or application tracking system is a type of software that employers use to manage the hiring process. It scans the resumes and filters out those that don't need the criteria. Whoever the people are going to submit their resumes, the ATS system is going to shortlist that based on the requirements that are being given by the recruiter. This includes checking for keywords, structure, formatting, and some job specific phrases. So if your resume isn't ATS friendly, then you are not going to expect to shortlist in resume screening. So let's start with how you have to get shortlisted in resume building. Now I am going to discuss about some tips that will be helpful for you so that your resume will be shortlisted in the screening process. Let us start with your contact information. This should always be placed at the top of your resume. Include your full name, professional email address, phone number, and optionally your LinkedIn profile. Avoid using headers or footers for this because many ATS tools can't read them. Also, never include logos or profile pictures. They will confuse the system. Next, let's look at the skills section. This is where ATS searches for exact matches to the job post. For example, if the job says proficiency in SQL, your resume must say SQL exactly. So if the job requires that communication skills in excellent, then you have to mention that in resume that you have some excellent communication skills. Not only all the skills, but you have to explain what the skills and in-depth knowledge of your skills. This helps that so that you can write some more words which are related to the job profile. Use some standard terms like Microsoft Excel instead of vague alternatives like spreadsheet wizard. We people having some knowledge about a particular skill, but we don't know sometimes the name of that particular skill. So it is better to search for the exactly matched words, and also we have to just go through the job description and what are the keywords that are included in the job description so that we can include in our resume. But along with that, we too should have that particular skill. Without having that particular skill, only if the job is mentioning and it is demanding us, then we can't go like that. So if we have that skill in us, then only we have to include in the skill section. It's also smart to avoid non-standard abbreviations unless they are well known in your industry, such as SEO, search engine optimization. We all know that it is also called as SEO. We can simply say that SEO, but if we observe in the project management, so sometimes the system may not be able to read that abbreviations. So whatever the abbreviations you are going to use in your resume, please make sure that the abbreviation should be little familiar to the system. For example, HTML. It is well known that we generally say that HTML instead of using hypertext markup language. So whatever the abbreviations you have used, that system should be able to understand that. Next one. Now the education section. The education section should be clear and complete. List your degree in full. For instance, say Bachelor of Commerce instead of BCom. Next, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. And next you have to include your institution, state and graduation year. And it is very optional that if you have the higher graders or GPA points, you can include that. If it is not, better ignore, or else better you leave that section. And according to that ATS tips, you have to use a clear format, that is Bachelor of Science in Computer Science in XYZ University. And next, it is no need and it is not mandatory to include city or state, but it is mandatory to include your graduation year, because it discloses whether you are a fresher or else experienced person. If you are a fresher, mentioning relevant coursework or honors can be helpful. Again, avoid special characters and spell out abbreviations to ensure ATS can interpret them correctly. Next, you may also want to include some additional sections like project, certifications or volunteer work. When doing this, keep section headings very clear. Instead of calling it my greatest achievements, just call it projects. Make sure each entry contains relevant keywords and technologies mentioned in the job description. So depending on the relevance, you can add some more sections like projects, volunteer work, and next professional affiliations. And also if you have any other achievements that are relating to your skill, or else which you feel that these will be helpful in the coming job sections, then you can easily include all those things in the additional sections. But make sure that it should not be too lengthy or too short. Try to explain your skills in a simple and short way. Yes, let us quickly go over the golden rules for creating a resume that passes through ATS systems. First, use a clean, simple layout. There should be no tables, columns or text boxes. And also you have to stick to the fonts like Arial, Calibri or Times New Roman, and use bullet points that are standard, such as plain dots instead of check marks or arrows. Your section headings should be common and recognizable. For example, think summary, experience and education skills. So generally in summary we are going to add some objectives, because for a fresher I think there will be only career objectives. And next, for experiences, as many of you are freshers, there is no need to include that experiences. But if you have been through that internship and all those programs, you can sure you are going to include that as a experiences, but you have to mention clearly as it is intern experience. And also your education, the educational background also you can include in that along with your skills. Skills is the major part where the recruiter or else ATS system is going to shortlist that, because whatever the skills the recruiter needs, all those skills you have to be there and you have to include in the skill section. And second, tailor each resume to the specific job. That means reading the job description carefully and adding the exact keywords and phrases into your resume. For example, if the posting asks for Red Hat Linux administration, don't just say Linux. Use the exact phrases. Also include the job title exactly as it appears in the listing. This will help the application tracking system to shortlist your resume for the next round. Next, action verbs make your resume dynamic and easy to scan. Start each sentence with the words like manage, resolve, analyzed, and next achieve, improved, like that. So make sure there are no spelling or grammatical mistakes because some ATS tools flag poorly written resumes. So avoid headers and footers because I already said that ATS might skip or misread them. Use the standard bullet points. Many of us will be thinking that if we use the different kinds of bullet points, our resume will be attractive. But in reality, it is not like that. You have to stick to the plain bullets because it makes your resume look professional. And don't use fancy icons like arrow marks, text, or some other flower marks, whatever other. Okay, because it is very important to make or else to look your resume professional, you have to stick to some points. And another thing is you have to start the sentences, as I said, with action verbs. Managed, investigated, analyzed, resolved, improved, because it makes sure that you have done some work in the earlier days. And avoid spelling and grammatical errors because some ATS may flag poorly written resumes. If you think that you have very well written, just go through two to three times because your resume is the first impression that you are going to give to the recruiter. If you are making some mistakes unknowingly or knowingly, we can't easily get shortlisted, right? So for that reason, there should be no spelling mistakes or else any grammatical errors. And next you have to save the file correctly. So mostly you have to use the resume in .x or else in PDF format. Even it is not advisable to upload your resume in PDF. Just if you have prepared your resume in Word format, once go through that properly. If there are any spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes, or else any alignment or else font, just after making sure that you can convert into PDF. But it is not that much sure that whatever that you have typed in Word format, it cannot completely or mostly it may make some mistakes when you are converting into PDF. So make sure that if you are going to upload that PDF in PDF, there should be no mistakes. After completing or else after converting also, once you have to check your resume is there are any mistakes or else, then only you have to upload it, or else you can save that in .docx. Next, keep it concise. Most of us might be thinking that the resume might be consisting of 3 to 5 pages, but in reality it is not like that. If you are a fresher, better to make it in 1 or 2 pages, and if you are having experiences, only 2 pages it is for max, because 8 years, even though it is a system, it is not having that much of time to, so that it will go through all the items or else whatever the content you have written. So make sure that it should be concise and precise. No images or logos, because ATS can't read them and it may reject your resume as if you include more logos or images to make as you feel that it is more attractive. So these are all the So these are the tips for application tracking system. I feel that it will help you in the shortlisting of your resume or else in the first round of your recruitment process. So to improve your chances further, you can run your resume through tools like jobscan.co or else resumeworded.com. These websites will compare your resume against a job posting and tell you how well it's optimized. Maintaining a master resume and tweaking it for each role is also a great practice. So to wrap up, getting shortlisted is not just about having the right experience. It is also about presenting it in the right way. By aligning your resume with ATS rules, you are not gaming the system. You are making sure your skills don't go unnoticed. Now, I would love to hear from you. Do you have any questions about your resume? Feel free to ask, and let's make sure your next job application gets seen by the right eyes. So thank you. If you like the video, please subscribe to My Skills My Future. Like, subscribe and share, and also don't forget to comment. If you have any doubts, please comment in the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.